a major CNN investigation. And here's what it reveals it reveals that more than a dozen attorneys general across this country, both Republicans and Democrats, took extravagant trips paid for by major corporations. Okay. Maybe that bothers you on its own, but it adds here. The trips were tens of thousands of dollars, business class, and a whole lot more. And who paid for them? The companies? Companies they were investigating. Kyung La is out front.
Attorney General Torres? Excuse me, sir. Hi. Could I just grab you for 1 second?
New Mexico's Attorney General Raul Torres is on his way into a public meeting.
We gotta run.
We'd reach out to your office. We hadn't heard back.
Sure. Let me do this, and we can have a talk
Afterwards? Okay, thank you, sir.
What we're trying to find out is why he and a bipartisan group of attorneys general would accept invitations to join corporate lobbyists on an exclusive trip to South Africa in 2023, featuring a safari, a stay at this five-star hotel, wine tours, and gourmet restaurants that serve Wagyu steaks. Costs covered if you're an AG, including a flight allowance of up to $26,000. CNN obtained text messages about the trip, including the guest list, which shows more than a dozen attorneys general, the chief law enforcement officers of their states, these Republicans, and these Democrats. Also invited, this long list of corporate lobbyists and lawyers from some of America's most powerful companies like Amazon, Uber, Pfizer, Albertsons, some of the same companies the AGs have sued.
The group that put it all together is the AGA, the Attorney General Alliance, an association funded by those private businesses. It calls donations sponsorships. And as you can see on this AGA document, the more the corporations pay, the more they get. For example, $150,000 would get a company special projects and collaborations and access to 2 invite-only events. The AGA has hosted international trips to Spain, France, and scheduled for next month, Italy.
Invited with the AGs on these work trips, a +1. Like when Ohio's Republican Attorney General Dave Yost and his wife booked business class tickets to France last year. The South Africa trip did include meetings on topics like cybersecurity and international relations, but also a wildlife bus tour, as seen in a separate text chain of African animals as an AGA staffer shared. Replying to those photos, Chris Carr, Georgia's Republican Attorney General, who texted, "That's fantastic. Thank you again." Once home, Carr's staffer texted, "The boss had a blast last week," and asked for the calendar of upcoming events. At the time, Carr's office had an ongoing investigation into TikTok, which had a lobbyist invited on that South Africa trip. In a statement, Carr's spokesperson told CNN that investigation continues and added Carr supports AGA's educational forums that are essential to staying ahead of emerging threats. Neither Carr nor any of the Republican AGs agreed to interviews. We caught up with Torres and other Democratic AGs at this public event. His office is part of a multi-state case against Amazon. The company had a representative invited to the AGA South Africa trip. Also on that trip and part of the suit against Amazon, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison.
I wanted to ask about the international trips.
Yeah.
Ellison's office had not replied to our 2 emails asking about AGA trips.
Why go on these international trips that are sponsored by corporate lobbyists?
Well, from Mexico, we have a large amount of fentanyl coming through. Well, there are a lot of international issues that we deal with every day.
Ellison did not mention South Africa or France in our discussion.
I mean, I understand how this game is played. I mean, us reporters and politicians always, you went on a trip and try to embarrass the politician. I understand that thing. But I will say that there is real work that we're doing that is important for our constituents, and it has a lot to do with the fact that we live in a globalized world.
Well, the concern from
I get it.
ethics.
I know where you're coming from, and I'm just telling you that we have substantive programs. Our constituents are at a disadvantage if we are not having meaningful conversations with international partners. I'd like to end the conversation right there. Thank you. Yeah, whatever.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
The AGA would not talk to CNN on camera, but in a statement said foreign delegations have a key goal of strengthening bipartisan relationships and educate all delegates on pressing civil and criminal issues. Asked about the safari, the group said the visit included discussion on combating the illicit trade of endangered species. New Mexico's AG did not stick around like he promised to respond to our questions. Our CNN investigation did find that not all AGs go on these lavish international trips, like Arizona's Democratic Attorney General Chris Mays. Is that an intentional move on your part to avoid these trips?
I think it's an intentional move on my part to put my focus here in Arizona. I'll leave it at that.
Now, we did get a follow-up statement from the New Mexico Attorney General's office, who pointed to lawsuits filed against private companies and said AGA programs promote equal enforcement of the law. Illinois' Attorney General also told us AGA trainings have led to more effective enforcement efforts. Though we did not hear back from all attorneys general offices, we did contact Aaron. And the AGA did send a follow-up statement that said the group hosts many U.S. trainings offering legal education credits for attorneys and that not all event speakers are donors. Aaron?
Yeah, Kyung, thank you very much. Hard to imagine why an attorney general needs to go on a trip with lobbyists in South Africa. All right, Kyung, thank you.